Okay, so I think we're good to go. So, welcome everyone to today's another AMA session with Trent Potter. And we have them over here as well, so you can check out their links to know more about them. So, we're thrilled to have Guy, the founder of Transporter, here to discuss how informal transaction data empowers users to make smarter trade decisions using the power of Telegram's social data and AI. So, before we dive into today's questions and answers, so would like to extend a gratitude to Allium Fund, the community fund that made this AMA possible. So, if you're interested in contributing to the Allium Fund, don't forget to check out the Allium Founders Pass. It's a membership NFT that offers a wealth of benefits, including early access to upcoming projects, attractive discounts, and participation in airdrops. So I'm going to be dropping the links of Allium Fund NFT so that you can check it out. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Guy to today's space.
Thank you. Really appreciate having us.
It's a delight to have you here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how far you've been with Taraxa and Trent Potter, and also what it does.
Yeah, sure. So I myself studied electrical engineering and intelligence in the UK. I've been working all my life in AI and data analytics. Been in consulting and fintech in the past, and yeah, been working joined the Raxa team about 2 years. And yeah, during my time here, noticed that we were working, or Taraxa was working on a project called Echo. Um, Echo is really an interesting project, and I don't think there's anything like it in the crypto space at the moment. So essentially, it will scrape Telegram data, or potentially in future other data sources, um, in a decentralized manner. So you basically have smart contracts monitoring and orchestrating different nodes that collect Telegram data. And the reason why this is interesting is that you're able to transparently collect all this Telegram data, which Tarax and Echo have been doing for a long time. And we had a huge bank of data since 2020. And when I came in and started like looking through this data, I started looking at patterns, and very interesting patterns between what people are talking about, when people are talking about, and when the market moves or a particular project moves. And that's why I decided to create Trendspotter, because I felt like this was a gap in the market. I feel like there is not many products out there that enable you to do this. If you want to know how many people are talking about something, it's quite difficult, especially in the Telegram world. I'm sure you've had that pain point before, where you have to like go into Telegram groups, kind of figure out what is going on, go one by one, kind of scroll, try to look through all the information that people are talking about. And it's really tedious and difficult to do this as an individual. Right? So we thought, let's automate this, and let's build a system and a data platform that enables the people to, instead of just looking at, if you're interested in Taraxa project, maybe you'll go to the Taraxa Telegram, but there's potentially people talking about Taraxa in other groups, right? And that's what Transporter enables you to do, right? Enables you to go into our product and look at across the entire market. Right now, we're monitoring, I think, over 14,400 groups or somewhere around there, and enables you to have this really big holistic view on the markets and understand what people are talking about.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That actually sounds really fascinating because I, for one, I usually have that issue with Telegram, but I'm so glad that Transporter is here to make everything simple. I mean, everyone wants things to actually go easy and not so frustrating. So, traditional market analysis often focuses on technical indicators and price charts. So, How does Transporter utilize social data to complement this approach?
Yeah. So one thing that I think is important to notice, and why I think social data is so important, is that for people that have been here for a while and maybe have been here for a cycle or more, the crypto market has changed a lot, right? Before it used to be this revolutionary tech that people wanted to understand about, these fundamental about projects and what new tech have they brought into the table, what new technology and use cases have they brought into the table. But I think over the past couple of years, crypto has become very much an attention-based economy. As I try to always say, like crypto is an attention-based economy, and money flows where attention goes. And that's why Transporter is really important to kind of tap into that attention. And to kind of answer your question, I think a lot of people rely on technical analysis, which is a very important field, but quite difficult for people that haven't been in the space for a long time, or people that don't know about it to kind of utilize. It requires quite a bit of background of information, and it can be often be very subjective. One thing that isn't subjective is quantitatively identifying how many people are talking about something, and if that something is positive, if there's momentum, and if there's catalyst around that something. Um, and I think that's basically what we're trying to do, which I think is something that I haven't seen any projects do, and I think it's a very interesting avenue to take, which is instead of sweating trying to find what is the next TA setup that you can find in the market, well, maybe you could just try to find where is the biggest mind share in the market, and position yourself accordingly. There's several examples of this happening, right? In 2021 or whatever it was, you had the Wall Street bets with GME, which funnily enough is kind of coming back a little bit now. You have the hype of Pepe, you have the hype of WIF. All these are almost like social phenomenons, right? Something that if you were looking at TA, I don't think you would have like extrapolated these moves. But when you do have access to aggregated social information, you're able to really identify these ahead of the curve. One article, for example, that I put out a while ago was a use case around Pepe, and showing that using trend spotter data, you're able to actually detect these things earlier on. And in the article I put out, so you were able to detect the Pepe kind of mania 3 weeks before the peak, um, a few days after the smart contract deployment. And I think that those are exactly like the examples that we should kind of strive to repeat, and build a product that enables people to identify these and help them get an edge through social data and not necessarily through TA. And the reason why I think that is more accessible to everyone is that it's much easier to understand. Well, there's a lot of people talking about this, right? And if there's a lot of people talking about something, what else are they talking about? And have those clusters of topics and information that TA doesn't quite give you.
Wow. That's actually, I've actually never heard something like this before. And I feel like this, once a lot of people get to know about it, they'll want to, explore further. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section and we'll do well to attend to your question. So moving on to the next one, Guy. So Transporter helps you to get ahead of the curve by identifying potential breakdown before the hype explodes, right?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, that is the case. Obviously, not everything is 100%, but there's a plethora of cases. There's many cases that happen every day in which this is the case. And I'll be putting out more information on how to find and help people find these trends like you're describing before they happen.
Okay, that'll be really helpful for people listening because I'm sure if I were listening to this space, I would really love to know further. So, can you just elaborate on the specific techniques that Transporter utilizes for sentiment analysis and trend identification within Telegram conversations?
Yeah. So the first thing I would like to start explaining is that the reason why TrendSpotter is so good at doing what it does is it doesn't focus on the sentiment or the amount of people that are talking about in one group. So we put together what everybody's talking about in every group, right? So if, for example, you're interested, I don't know, in Ajax or SingularityNet or Chainlink, right? Obviously, not only Chainlink people, just not only Chainlink people in Telegram are talking about Chainlink. There's Chainlink being talked about in many groups, and that lens of looking at everything makes transporter a lot more powerful in that regard. And then there's two other things. There's the quantification of people talking about, right? There's you can have a quality of people talking about, but you can also have a quantity. And funnily enough, in crypto, actually, the amount of people talking about something is really relevant. And not always as relevant as sentiment as you would think. A lot of the times, just attention wins. But we aim to provide both, right? We aim to provide the quantity of what people are talking about, and also the quality of what people are talking about, and that kind of touches on the sentiment bit. Um, Sentiment was something we worked for a long time and was slightly difficult to get in crypto in the last 2 years during the bear market, um, because there are models and we use machine learning models to kind of detect this and cut through the noise in messages to know if my messages are positive or negative. And the reason why this is somewhat difficult sometimes is because crypto uses a lot of normal English words to name projects, right? There are projects called Time from Wonderland. There are projects called Paper. There are projects called Day and De, and like really common English words. So you have to use more sophisticated methods like AI to really discern between when people are talking about paper or time or something like that. Rather than talking about an actual crypto project. So the solution that we got to is to kind of use LLMs, and this is technology that has arrived, and I'm sure we've all listening here. I've kind of tried it out. ChatGPT, namely, being the most famous one. That really is very powerful at doing this, right? And you can kind of train it to and nudge it in the right direction when like analyzing these Telegram messages. So instead of, for example, saying, you know, I need paper to write today, which would obviously not be relating to a crypto project, and there's a message saying the market is looking better, I'm going to buy some paper, maybe you'll identify that the paper, because there's market in that sentence, refers to the project called Paper or the project called Time because of the surrounding context of messages. So this tech has really brought forward the ability for us to get a much more precise around sentiment. So you'll be able to not only know, like, for example, the sentiment around Taraxa, the amount of people that are talking about Taraxa, in a much more concise and more accurate way than we ever did before. And to kind of build on that last point is that once you have all these metrics for each project, right, you can then aggregate them and get more interesting stuff. Like, for example, you want to know the sentiment around RWA, or you want to know the sentiment around AI coins, or you want to know the sentiment around meme coins. So you can then like add up all the sentiment and all these mentions through all these projects in different categories, and be able to have like an even more kind of zoomed out, holistic view of the market. Um, and be able to kind of just log in into TrendSpotter and see, right, which category is hotter right now, which category has more hype, um, which is something that, if you think about it, you would never really be able to do as an individual, going into Twitter or Telegram and going to all these groups and you really get an accurate view, right? And this is what TrendSpotter kind of brings, which hasn't really been done before.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So, speaking of spams, I know that I mean, I've actually had a couple of experiences where, there's a group chat and people are just, spamming. So, if we
Mhm.
can get, if people can actually get a kind of tool that would help to, get rid of the spams. I'm sure everyone would jump at that. So, how does Transporter in this case handle spam, irrelevant chatters, and misinformation within Telegram groups? What are the strategies that you would employ to ensure that the AI focuses on the most valuable data points?
That's a really good question. Thank you. Yeah, so we've developed, well, we've used an algorithm that's actually been developed by Google, called the min-hash algorithm. And what this enables us to do is to cluster messages that are spam or similar, right? And we're able to be able to remove them from the conversation. So you're able to kind of like say, within this day, there's X amount of messages that look too similar, so we're going to remove them because they're clearly spam and they've been sent from either the same account or different accounts, but they look exactly the same and they're just repeated in a very short amount of time. And I'm sure you've seen that before, right? So like you go into a Telegram group
Oh
and
yeah,
there's like spam everywhere, right? You
yeah.
cannot really count that as information. You cannot really count that as valuable information. And it's actually something that pollutes Telegram a lot, right? It's difficult to read Telegram as a normal human being because there's just so much of this, right? So it's critical that you remove the spam, and that's kind of what we do. We have a pipeline that runs through all of this. So we grab the raw data, we cleanse it, we remove the spam, and then we use AI to kind of like find all the relevant information within the sea of text. So yeah, that's how we remove spam, and it's kind of it works really well, and it's a pretty mature and really effective technology at this point.
Oh, perfect. So I'm sure that this in this day and age, a lot of people use Telegram a lot. So this information is 100% useful. So moving on to the next question. Um, While Trend Spotter identifies trends, so does it also offer specific investment recommendations? And how can users best utilize the platform's insight to formulate their own informed investment strategies?
Sorry, could you repeat that again? My internet cut off, I think.
Oh, sorry. So while Transporter identifies trends, does it also offer specific investment recommendations? And then how can users best utilize the platform's insights to formulate their own informed investment strategies? I think these are two questions. So if you want me, I could ask you the first one first, and then when you explain, because I feel like those people that will be listening would want to have you break it down bit by bit.
Yeah, sure. I'll tackle the first question. So the first thing we give, and there's a lot of functionality that Transporter has to offer, and we wanted to kind of put something out there so people we start building a community and we start building a following and put something out there. And our first product was the alerts, right? So we give out signals on when there's an abnormal amount of people talking about something that wasn't previously happening. Um, what does this mean? It means that when there is a new project or a project that already existed but was kind of like dead in terms of hype and in terms of attention around it. And then there's like a massive surgence of that attention coming back to that project. Then Transporter will alert its users that this is happening, right? Pay attention, look at this project. There's something going on here that you should pay attention. That's what our alert signal mechanism does. And if you do want to use it, you can go to transporter.ai, log in with your MetaMask, and start using it. It's as simple as that to get started with Transporter. So we have a dashboard. You can go into our daily alerts dashboard and look at what current alerts and how many people are talking about things, and you can look at the statistics of when they've been talking about things and how much. We also have a confidence score that we built to help people navigate through this data a little bit more. What this means is that they can, there's we sometimes in certain days, depending on the activity in the markets, there can be over 50, 70 alerts. So how do you guys like look at the alerts that maybe matter for you, right? And the way to do that is to use our kind of custom proprietary custom confidence score that enables you to know what is the alerts that have more confidence and less confidence in terms and in context of like actually putting some money into it and investing into it. And recently, we've actually also added filters. So, for example, if you want to know about only meme coins, or if you want to know about only like Solana coins, or if you want to know only about Taraxa coins, right? You can go into our filtering system and actually just look at the coins that you're interested in. For example, you want to filter Ethereum coins that are like RWA and are less than 100 million market cap, as an example, right? Then you can do that and look at like what are the top projects that people are talking about right now, and kind of pay attention to when TrendSpotter gives you a signal.
Okay, thank you so much for that response. But speaking of customizable alerts, monitoring and notifications. So, can users personalize their experience by setting up alerts for specific keywords? So, I understand that you just mentioned that if you like want to set up alerts for something that you need to, let's say you want to know if Bitcoin has gone higher or something like that. But is it just going to be specifically coin related, or it can just be any kind of keyword, project, or sentiment shift within the Telegram group?
So at the moment, we are focused on projects, but we do have obviously the capability of going further. We just wanted to kind of have a closed alpha launch and trial with the thing I think most people are interested in, which is projects. But yes, in future we would definitely be able to kind of add keywords and things that people wanna watch and monitor, because as you said, that might be something of interest to people. And I think a good way of maybe doing that in the future is because it's kind of like a new meta in crypto is having a Telegram bot. Everybody works and spends their day through Telegram, and it kind of makes a lot of sense that TrendSpotter, which is something that monitors Telegram data, to also be a Telegram bot, right? I think that is an easy logical conclusion. And I think in that Telegram bot, we would then be able to kind of offer more personalized configurations, right? Then you're able to, as yourself, set your configurations, and you get the notifications and the push notifications from whatever you're interested to hear about. Um, Another thing that I think we will be offering very soon is similar to what you said. Instead of just relying on alerts, you can actually just go to our Explorer page and be able to monitor um, just keywords in general, and you can type in a keyword and look at how much attention that has gotten, for example, which I think would be of more generic value if people just wanted to um, monitor whatever they want.
Okay, so it's safe to say that this is, one of the new features or enhancement that users should expect from transporters in the near future, right?
Yep, that's something that
Okay.
we are currently working on.
Okay, perfect. So I think you just answered, one of our listeners' questions. So moving on to the next one. So does Transporter integrate with any other crypto analysis platform or tools? So if so, how can users leverage this integration for more holistic view of the market?
Oh, that's a really good question. So we've been testing and researching, integrating data from other data sources, which I think is kind of what you're alluding to. Um,
Yeah.
one of the ones that we found that has been really useful is called Luna Crush, and what they monitor on top of what we monitor is Reddit, YouTube. So they, for example, will do kind of video to text conversion and be able to kind of process that data in text from YouTube and Twitter, right? So oh, and TikTok, sorry. So there's four data sources: TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter. But they don't have Telegram, right? So it kind of makes sense for us to use them because like it fits like a glove, right? They have all the other data sources, and we have our main data source, which is Telegram, which we specialize on. So then we can kind of put that information together and enable to provide that to our users. We're currently working on a new page, which when people go into our platform and go into our dashboard, they'll be able to go to the recent alerts page and be able to go into kind of like find out more particular assets. And within that page, they'll be able to see a more holistic information. So you'll be able to see information about the project in Telegram, but also have information about how it's doing in other data sources, which we think could be a great value if people want to know that.
Oh, perfect. I actually, look forward to this, and I'm sure everyone else does. Okay, so speaking of getting started with Transporter, so I know you mentioned, the website and all, but how can new users get started? I know you said you can connect your MetaMask wallet, but does it accept any other kind of wallet, like any Web3 based wallet, or it's just strictly MetaMask?
Currently, we've um, just set up MetaMask, but there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to integrate other wallets. It's just that it is the most common wallet out there. This obviously includes Rabbi as well, because they're kind of one and the same. Um, so anything that is like basically fully compatible with MetaMask will be able to log in. If there is other requests for other specific wallets to be integrated, please come to our Telegram and our Twitter, or Discord, and let us know. We'd be happy to kind of investigate and see if we can integrate anything further.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. To our listeners, if you want to get started with Transporter, feel free to go on Google and type transporter.ai. It's also added here in the space. And whatever question you have, feel free to send a DM or join Telegram, their Telegram group, and ask, and their admins will be there to attend to you. So I think this brings us to the end of this session. Guy, do you have any final thoughts or messages for our audience?
Yeah, sure. Just wanted to kind of like finalize and tell people what is coming. Obviously, Transporter started with a kind of alert system, but we have the ability to become much more, and we're striving to become much more. We'll be releasing a roadmap very soon. The kind of opening up of the Taraxa bridges, the Taraxa bridge opens up a lot of a plethora of opportunities for Taraxa projects, and we're very excited for that moment to come. One of the few things that we're excited to integrate and further tune our models in is to obviously add sentiment analysis, add kind of lunar crush data that we were talking about, being able to add more visualizations so people can see the sentiment and the dominance of not only projects but categories and narratives, and simply look at the broader markets to be able to do so. And the one thing that I'm very, very excited about, and is something kind of we've been working in the background for a long time, is through a partnership that enables us to actually use our trading signals or social data signals to automatically do your trading for you. So what we will be releasing soon is and we've been backtesting this data across different chains, is the ability to basically deposit USDT or USDC in the chains that you want to trade in. We will be opening smart contracted vaults in those respective chains that will enable people to just simply deposit money, follow a particular strategy that Transporter has defined. That strategy will then receive our social trading signals and will trade accordingly for you. This includes, putting the limit orders, applying risk managements, and having stop losses and trailing stop losses and take profits strategies, and then kind of like roll everything for you. So you will have the choice of using our product and being able to do your own choices, do your own research, because Transporter is not only necessarily about investments, is also knowing what is going on in the markets and being able to investigate. So it can be very good for researchers and even projects to know how they're doing, right? So this automated trading bot is something that we're very excited about. That will be able to launch. It will enable us to launch in 5 to 6 EVM chains at the same time, which is something that a Telegram bot would have kind of taken a bit longer time. And in relation to non-EVM chains, we'll be looking into creating partnerships with existing Telegram bots, where people will be able to go through the kind of trend spotting Telegram bots, have a signal. You can immediately click on it, for example, in Solana or whatever, and it will redirect you to that Solana bot where you can immediately place the trade. What we want to facilitate to our users is if you are looking into something, you're enabling to like get the signal, and in a couple clicks you're in the trade, without having to do all of the kind of like copying contract and all that stuff, that may slow down the users to make decisions. So yeah, those are a few things that I wanted to mention. Obviously, there's more things that we would like to build out in the future, such as investing a little bit more on kind of our AI capabilities to be able to provide summary analysis on projects. So, for example, you'd be able to kind of go into a particular project like Taraxa, and it would give you a project summary analysis and like upcoming catalysts or community engagements around people talking about Taraxa, um, further enhancing the capability of like Transpotting being this platform that you can log in, go into the platform and find any kind of social data information surrounding a project. Um, yeah, I think those are the things that I wanted to mention. Um, the final one that I just wanted to kind of put a caveat on as well is that we have also Telegram chat statistics, which is great because projects can actually go into our product and see, or like conclude and build the reports on how their Telegram chat is growing. Is there more community engagements? Is there more users coming in? Are those users staying? Is there an increase in growth in retention, in member counts, and for example, in how many people are talking, as well as like understanding more in-depth information, if like the conversation in a Telegram group is well distributed and is organic, right? I don't know if you've ever used, for example, like coin aggregators like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. They used to have this kind of social tab, which was yeah, not very good. Information that was slightly at a high level, right? Like just have a user count or how many people are in a group. But that doesn't really reflect the reality of things. You can have like 10,000 people in your group and only have like three people talking and actually have like useful conversation, right? So having more in-depth details about chats and about how they're doing and about like what people are talking about, how many people are talking about things, I think can be of great value. And it can also be used by traders, investors to understand if the project that they're getting into has some legs to go and has some organic growth around it, by inspecting Telegram data.
Wow. Honestly, I look forward to this. So, I would say, um, I would like to say people should go to your Telegram channel to, check out and know more about Transporter. But it seems like the Telegram link doesn't work. So, if you could have that updated and posted, so we'll definitely retweet. So I don't think we have any more questions. Thank you so much, Gay, for coming on here. We really look forward to having more of you because I would like to know more about the new features coming up on Transporter, and I'm sure our listeners will do so. Um, to shift the gear a bit, um, let's talk about Terraxa Catalyst and the Allium Pass, which will be posted here again on the chat. So if you want to check it out, please do feel free to check it out and get your own NFT pass. But to those that don't know about the Terraxa Catalyst, it is an initiative focused on community driven growth and innovation. And this is one thing that Transporter is, actually doing for us. I wouldn't be the only one benefiting from this, but I'm sure everyone will. And also, it's an exciting platform for decentralized applications and services. And then the Allium Fund, which supports community-driven project, like I mentioned before, um, offers Founders Pass. So you can get this as well. And this membership NFT provides numerous benefits, including early access to upcoming projects, attractive discounts, participating in airdrops. I know we have a lot of people who are interested in airdrops, so be rest assured that this is for you, and also access to exclusive events. So there's actually an upcoming NFT airdrop for Allium Pass holders. So you have to ensure to get yours if you want to qualify for the NFT airdrop. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss it. So thank you again, Guy. Thank you again, Transporter, for coming on to this session. It was insightful session. I'm definitely going to, sign up and connect my wallet to, because I need to ensure that all those Telegram spams and misinformations on my Telegram is off. So please do well to take part. But in all, thank you so much, Guy, for these insightful answers. And thank you to our listeners for joining us here. So we'll be back again next time. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. Take care.
Take care.